Right, so let's again try to look at this. Let's try to look at B11 in the 2024 5070 chemistry. It says aluminium is the most widely occurring metal in the Earth's crust. It has several uses. Then it says name the main ore of aluminium. So remember, they want you to state the main ore of aluminium. So aluminium is actually extracted from bauxite. So that is the main ore from which it is actually extracted. So bauxite. So that is B Roman 1. Sorry, A Roman 1. Then A Roman 2 says, why is it dissolved? It says, sorry, B, that should be B. If actually mistaken, that should be B. It says, purified aluminium oxide is dissolved in a chemical before being used as an electrolyte. Okay, then it says name the chemical in which it is dissolved. So that is B Roman 1 now. So the chemical in which it is dissolved is simply called as being cryo. So we call it as being cryolite. Now cryolite is a form of what we call as being sodium, they simply call it as being sodium hexafluoro. Can I just simply say, sodium hexafluoro aluminate, sodium hexafluoro aluminate 6, or you could simply just say sodium aluminium fluoride. That's what you could just say. It's okay. So it consists of sodium, then hexafluoro. So hexa means 6. Yeah, so it actually consists of that. Hopefully I've actually written the correct formula there for this compound that we do have. In fact, maybe it's supposed to be sodium hexafluoroaluminate 6, so it's supposed to be like that. But the common name, the easier name that you can simply give it is chloride, but it's called sodium hexafluoroaluminate 6, or just sodium aluminium fluoride, in case you are struggling to get it, because the name sounds a bit complicated. Then B2 says, why is it dissolved in this chemical? The reason, it helps in lowering the melting point of aluminium. In fact, the melting point of aluminium is about 2050 degrees Celsius, but it is brought to about 950 degrees Celsius. So I can simply say that the function of this thing is that it helps to lower the melting. So I can simply say it helps to lower the melting point of aluminium. So it helps to lower the melting point of aluminium from about 2050 degrees to 950 degrees Celsius. So you can see if the temperature is lowered to that, it simply means that it saves massive amount of energy, and it actually significantly reduces production cost. Yeah, so at the same time, it also improves electrical conductivity. Yeah, so the cryolite again, it actually acts like an electrolyte. It acts as an electrolyte, so you could have actually said, and it keeps it in its molten state. So that is the main function. Then C there says that aluminium is extracted from pure aluminium oxide by electrolysis. Then the question says state the electrode reaction. So they want us to state the electrode reaction that take place and classify each of them as oxidation or reduction. So that is what they want us to do. So remember, there are two cathodes, the two reactions at the cathode as well as at the anode. Remember, at the anode, what is simply taking place is simply oxidation, and what is taken at the cathode is simply reduction. So because the cathode is negatively charged, so what is going to migrate there is aluminium ion. So the aluminium ion, when it gains 3 electrons, it will become reduced to aluminium. So that is what is going to be happening, and this reaction here is simply reduction. So that is reduction that is taking place. On the other hand, what you're going to find is that you're going to find that the oxide ions will migrate to the anode, and hence these are going to be reduced to oxygen. So we can actually try to balance up that. The overall charge here is -4, so I can add 4 electrons on that side, and what is happening this side is simply oxidation. So oxidation is simply taking place there. Then this says, explain why aluminium is used in the manufacture of overhead electrical cables rather than copper. So why do we use aluminium? So the truth is that aluminium is lightweight. In other words, we can say that aluminium is a very, or I can say aluminium has a very low density compared to copper. So because it has got a low density, it simply means that aluminium is actually, lightweight. So you can use it. But copper, on the other hand, is actually very easy in this case. Yeah. Then another thing that we can talk about is that also aluminium has, good electrical